Keoki, would you like to share a little bit about what it was like again in your recovery before you got into recovery?
Well, chaos. Yeah, that would be the best word that describes my addiction. Just total chaos, losing sight of self and of purpose. Yeah, and it's a way of living. My upbringing was, I came from a dysfunctional alcoholic family that didn't know any better, and as I look back, I accept full responsibility that my actions is what caused me to have all these consequences. It had nothing to do with my family. I made the choices, and because of recovery, because of a 12-step recovery program, I'm forever grateful for that. Yeah.
Leland, can you kind of relate to about the chaos?
Oh, yeah, chaotic, confusion, depression, stress, all of that, prior to recovery, it's, with myself, I had kidney disease, due to all my drugs and alcohol, having high blood pressure, and, I was just going around just feeling empty and lost.
Yeah.
Really.
It's amazing
down.
how, when we use drugs and alcohol and how it just takes over our whole physical body and emotionally and,
right.
to a point where it even takes our soul, where we just don't know who we are anymore and not happy with where we're at. So, yeah, I remember Keoki was sharing about that, that your addiction pretty much got you into prison and into really
a lot of broken families, losing my wife and my children, and just complete destruction of my actions, and addiction is a disease that I've learned in recovery. And it's not so much the person. We're all good human beings. Some of us had good lives and still turn out to be alcoholics. And that's why, the program, the 12-step program, teaches people like myself who suffer from addiction that there is a better way of life. Yeah, and it's basic principles that we live by. We're human beings. We make mistakes, even sober. But the bottom line is, do we learn from it and grow from it, or we go back to that old lifestyle? And I've worked too hard to be where I'm at today, and I'm not willing to give what I have today for the life I once lived. Yeah.
So what kind of drugs did you folks use? Was it
meth and weed, alcohol,
alcohol, Pacololo and methamphetamine,
ice, so anything to cover the pain and all the confusion and stuff.
And for you too, you both could you relate to that?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, the people that you hung out with, the kids in my neighborhood did it. It was the thing.
It was the thing.
And not knowing at that time where the consequences would have led to. You party, you think it's fun. Yeah, it was for me in the beginning, but later on, as time goes by, it's self-destruction.
So at the beginning, it seemed like, it was party time, drinking,
you have
smoking.
fun in the beginning, but eventually it's like it creeps up on you.
Yeah, would you say that it got to a point where you needed the drug and the alcohol to survive?
Well, I didn't really need it to survive, but I needed it to feel good, because basically I didn't feel good, about myself, about my life. So it was kind of a masquerade with the drugs and just, putting a bandage over the scars, but it wasn't really healing. It was just getting worse and worse.
To a point where when you drank and used drugs, it just didn't feel good anymore.
Nope.
So you folks are pretty much at the same place.
Pretty much.
I mean, your stories are completely different.
Yeah.
But the feelings are exactly the same. To a point where, you drank and you used drugs and it didn't fix you anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just made matters worse. Yeah.
So, what happened? How did you find recovery, Keoki? How did you find recovery? What made you? Did you know that there were? Did you know that there was recovery after drugs and alcohol?
I knew there was treatment available, only because of the judge going to court for all the chaos. However, it took a few times for me. You know, there were times when the judge would tell me to go to treatment and get help, and of course I would go because I don't want to go to jail. But I was just going through the motion, not willing to change. You know, I did it just to get them off my back. But the results was always the same. You know, so until you reach that point of utter defeat, I say, you know, where, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I think that's the only time you as an individual will know when you want to do this thing called recovery, because everybody's different. You know, if I could get what I have now years before, I don't even know if I would have done it. You know, I think it was my time this time, and that's why I'm here. But, you know, until you're ready, the drugs and alcohol no longer serves a purpose for you, then maybe that's when you're gonna want the change. There is help out there, though.
Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, people, they just don't know where to go. You know, they're into their disease of addiction, and they just can't see their life not drinking or using. You know, it's like, because you were just drinking and using all these years, it's like, how could you ever think of not drinking and using to survive? Yeah. So, you know, many people are going through that. They just don't know how to get sober. And you went through a treatment center,
Yes,
Keoki?
I did.
Yeah, and Leland, you went through a faith-based program church.
Yes.
Yeah. So you folks went through different paths.
Right.
And able to both have almost 9 years of recovery. And that's amazing. So it's like there's different ways to get into recovery. Right. Yeah.